Yes folks, about to begin a journey up the River Thames from Woolwich here in southeast London to Westminster. I think one can certainly say that you really do get a great sense of London's history when you travel up or down the great river, the River Thames. And over there folks, the famous Woolwich ferry. I'll tell you, if you actually wander under the tunnel actually that passes from North Woolwich over or under the River Thames, and the Woolwich ferry is passing over you can actually hear the vibrations as it crosses the River Thames. And here folks, the famous Tate and Law factory here at Silvertown. Well, passing through the Thames flood barriers. These were actually installed in the 1980s to actually protect London from tidal surges and indeed from the potential fury of the North Sea. Well, looking over there folks towards Charlton, and indeed famous Plessy factory. Well, this here is the Royal Wharf, right in the heart of East London. It is a location that over the last 30 years has certainly seen a huge change. Actually behind those buildings there are the old Royal Dogs. Yes folks, we're now approaching North Greenwich. This too is a location that has changed quite dramatically over the last 30 years. It's actually here where you'll see the famous cable car or airline that actually crosses over the River Thames. And there folks, on the Greenwich Peninsula, the Millennium Dome. Yes, the Greenwich Peninsula. As I was saying folks, the waterside here on the River Thames has changed quite dramatically over the last 30 years. We're actually now on the eastern side of the Isle of Dogs. And that is certainly a cityscape that has changed hugely over the last 30 years. Yes folks, we're on the approach to Greenwich. And there the famous Trafalgar pub at Greenwich and the old Royal Naval College. That certainly is a beautiful structure. Yes, magnificent Greenwich. And the Cutty Sark. And over there on the north side of the River Thames from here at Greenwich is Island Gardens. Those gardens, superb gardens, located on the southern end of the Isle of Dogs, looking towards Mudchurch and on there towards Canary Wharf as well. Yes, the Isle of Dogs. Well, the name Isle of Dogs derives from the days of Charles II. He lived actually here at Greenwich, but kept his dogs on the island over there, because in those days that actually was an island before it became attached to the area around Millwall and Whitechurch. There folks, the cottage sock retreating away into the distance. The waterside at Deptford. Looking south there folks, towards Rotherhithe and the Surrey docks. Well, if anywhere emphasises the great changes that have occurred here on the side of the River Thames, particularly here in East London, this is certainly the best example of them all. This is the western side of the Isle of Dogs and Canary Wharf. Those incredibly tall buildings would certainly be a testament to that. There is Cascades. That was actually built in the late 1980s. Today it is actually dwarfed by the neighbouring buildings. However, when it was first built, I'll tell you something, it certainly was the tallest building around at that particular time. Well, we're leaving Canary Wharf behind us, and over there on the south side of the river, it's Rotherhithe, the Surrey docks, and coming into view now Bermondsey. And looking back towards the Isle of Dogs and Canary Wharf. I think you'll all agree that's a pretty spectacular sight. Oh yes, Rotherhithe. I'll tell you, that is an old part of London. On the south bank of the River Thames. In a real bend of the river here, you can see Rotherhithe and in the distance, across on the other side of the Thames Bend, Canary Wharf. But here, the north side of the river, actually, this is Wapping. Another old and historical part of London. There are the Metropolitan Police patrol boats here at Wapping. Those beautiful Thames barges there. I tell you something, they could certainly tell a story or two. Absolutely beautiful. Yes folks, St. Catherine's Dock. And over there folks, Bermondsey. And how about that Tower Bridge, built way back in 1894. One of the world's most famous bridges, that's for sure. And a little out of sight folks, but the famous Tower of London. As you can see there, the top of the White Tower, that was actually built way back in the 11th century. What a sight folks, looking across there, you can see the Shard, one of the tallest buildings in the world. For a short while that actually was the tallest building in Europe. And there, HMS Belfast. A town class ship that was actually built in Belfast and launched in 1938. It actually saw active service during the Second World War, was on the Arctic convoy runs, and also played a major part in the D-Day landings as well. Ah, yes, folks, HMS Belfast. In all her glory.
We are approaching London Bridge. Any passengers for London Bridge, please disembark at the back of the boat.
And there, folks, the tall buildings of the City of London. You can actually see the famous walkie-talkie cheese graters there somewhere as well. That is the heart of London's financial centre. Passing under London Bridge. There's Cannon Street and the City of London behind it. The modern day glories of the South Bank. I tell you though, this particular part of London has a long and fascinating history as well. Yes, Southwark and Southwark Bridge. Yes, the dome of St. Paul's Cathedral, Christopher Wren's great masterpiece, built in the 17th century after the Great Fire of London. There's the Tate Modern at Southwark. The remarkable sight of London at night. Here, from the middle of the River Thames. Yes, Blackfriars Bridge. The South Bank, the London Eye, Big Ben and Waterloo Bridge. All coming into view, folks. What a sight. Yes, the Royal Festival Hall and the tall modern buildings around Waterloo. Yes, London's embankment. The pub on the Thames, the Tattershall Castle.
We are now approaching Westminster.
Yes, folks, the end of the journey here at Westminster. And over on the south side, I can actually see the London Eye, the old County Hall, and St. Thomas's Hospital, and Westminster Bridge. Yes, the Houses of Parliament, without doubt, one of the most famous buildings in the world. Instantly recognizable here at Westminster. Folks, enjoy the day.